Welcome back to Media Madness. My name is Thomas. Because President Trump's deployment of the National Guard and other federal agencies into the District of Columbia has been such a resounding success, he's looking to expand the program to other crime-ridden cities in our great country, notably Chicago and most recently, New Orleans. This to the chagrin of J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, who says he's got it all under control in Chicago. Now, I wanted to show you a clip of Stephen A. Smith, the ESPN commentator, leveraging his status as the sole black guy on this panel, his words, not mine, to defend the idea of troops in Chicago with Bill O'Reilly, who I forgot existed. Let's watch.
The only person
I don't
on
agree.
Earth who can stop it is Trump.
I don't agree.
Okay.
I think this was a good play for the president that I did not see coming, but I think the how is everything. Saying stay out, Mr. President, we don't need your help, bad look, okay? Bill's right about that. Look, either the numbers are going up or the numbers are going down or the numbers are staying the same. They're going down, but not to anybody's satisfaction. I don't think Pritzker's a liar, but he looks bad until you get to the how. I don't believe the National Guard, whether they find it legally saleable or not, is the answer to bringing anything down. They're not trained for it.
Right.
But it's the right issue. But I think there's an opportunity in going after how you fight crime.
Let me talk.
Before I let Stephen A. talk, I do want to say that it's kind of immaterial to me whether the National Guard is trained for law enforcement or not. I think psychologically, there's something about dudes in camos walking around with big scary rifles that does make shady characters disappear from the streets, and I've seen it myself as someone who lives in Washington, D.C., so let's continue.
Let me talk to America right now in saying this, okay? The lone black man on this segment is me. I don't need any of Bill O'Reilly's statistics that he just spewed to know that he's right in terms of what has been transpiring throughout in the streets of Chicago. It has been going on for years. It was going on before Obama was in office. It was going on when he was in office. It's been going on since he's been in office. I recall seeing a black couple on national television asking for military assistance. That's how bad it has been in Chicago. And one administration after another has either been incapable or unwilling to do anything about it. It is shameful, and black folks in that city have been getting killed for years, and I'm disgusted at the level of ineffectiveness or unwillingness that they've executed in getting better things done and making it better for the law-abiding citizens in Chicago. Having said that, we got to pay attention to what Trump, we got to pay attention, hold on, Bill, we got to pay attention to this. When he went into L.A., that was a bit excessive. You got a bunch of people in L.A. that were talking about stuff was going on in a 2-block radius. It could have been handled by the local PD. In Washington, D.C., that is not a state. You understand? He has the right. It's run by the federal government. He has a right if he wants to send the National Guard, even though the National Guard isn't trained for that. And when you send in the Marines or the Army, they're trained to kill. They're not trained to police. So you got to send in the right people. I get that part. But I understand his intent when you're talking about what's transpired in Washington, D.C. Chicago may very well be unlawful, but with Pritzker, you're absolutely right. Yo, what are you going to do about it? It's one thing to say, Trump, don't send in the National Guard. It's another thing for the president to come out of his mouth, I'm here to help if they ask for it, and then for you to say no, and then try to implement laws in place that would prohibit him from sending help. Wait a minute. When that happens,
Now
you
it's
can't point the
politics.
finger at Bill O'Reilly. You can't point the finger at Chris Cuomo. You can't point the finger at people that are and just say, oh, it's really not politics. Who the hell are they? It's all about politics if you're a governor and you're going to take that position. So I have no problem with you at all, Bill, calling out the governor of Illinois the way that
but
you have.
let me throw.
I really love how willing Stephen A. Smith is to get onto any panel and talk about any subject under the sun, but he's exactly right here, and there's a reason people call it Chirac. And he's completely right about this just being about politics, not about crime in Chicago. Because the likes of J.B. Pritzker will use this to score political points with his base, because he can tout this when he runs for president in a few years as one of the defining moments of his political career. the time he stood up against American tyranny. A military occupation in an American city. It's just like The Handmaid's Tale. But the argument kind of falls flat when you realize Trump isn't sending his troops into the governor's mansion, although it'd be cool if he did. He's sending them into Oblak to fight against the gangsta disciples who will give them a fair fight. Let's move on to watch JB the Fridge Pritzker complaining about all this 2 days ago, standing behind a podium in Chicago or somewhere.
Begging me to call him. No, I will not call the president, asking him to send troops to Chicago. I've made that clear already. I know this has been an unsettling and difficult 10 days for the people of Chicago and Illinois. I'm going to do my best to share what we know as of today and speak frankly to the people of Illinois. Rumors have been swirling about what the White House has planned, and sifting fact from fiction has been increasingly difficult because Donald Trump's administration is not working in coordination with the city of Chicago, Cook County, or the state of Illinois. I want to take a moment at the top of my remarks to note how truly extraordinary it is for the federal government to refuse to coordinate with local law enforcement and government.
It seems like local law enforcement and government is refusing to coordinate with the federal government.
Our state police regularly works with the FBI, the ATF, the DEA to go after gangs and gun runners and drug cartels. Under previous White House administrations, we regularly received notice and worked together on crime-fighting operations. This city has hosted major political conventions, flashpoint events like the NATO conference, and huge sports and entertainment gatherings over the years and across many presidential administrations.
I love this argument. Like, we have sports, we have major events, we have political events in the city of Chicago. Yeah, it's the third largest city in America. New York City had all those things too before Rudy Giuliani took over. There was still a massive crime problem.
All those events required significant coordination between all levels of government. Some, like the Democratic National Convention last year, even required a limited deployment of the Illinois National Guard for broad security purposes, including especially preventing terrorism. For that 4-day event, there were conversations and meetings that began 1 year before the convention between my office, the mayor's office, the county board president's office, CPD, state police, the FBI, the Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security. The mayor and I were briefed at the highest levels of government, and we pledged unwavering support in the effort to pull off a convention that kept attendees safe and protected the rights of all citizens to express their First Amendment rights. The convention was a true success because of that collaboration. Fighting crime requires coordination. We have experienced nothing like that over the past several days and weeks. On Saturday, the head of the Illinois State Police received a phone call from CBP's Chief Patrol Agent, Gregory Bovino, indicating that ICE would be deploying to Chicago. It's the first outreach we have received from the Trump administration on this topic. Bovino was short on details and long on rhetoric. So in the absence of significant federal coordination, we've gathered information from unauthorized patriotic officials inside the government and from well-sourced reporters about Donald Trump's plan, which is to deploy armed military personnel to the streets of Chicago.
Don't worry, guys. The New York Times and J.B. Pritzker's army of patriots inside the government is on the case. He talks for a while about how under his amazing leadership, crime has been trending down in Chicago and throughout the state of Illinois. I don't really buy it. There were 50 some odd shootings in the past weekend in Chicago, if I recall correctly. Either way, I'm bored with this guy, and he's going to get federal troops, probably, whether he likes it or not. He and the city of Chicago are just going to have to eat their proverbial vegetables here. That is all I got for you today. Thank you so much for watching Media Madness. Like, comment, and subscribe below, and we will see you next time.